Winter storm chances will continue to increase as we move into the month of December. And we got a good old snowstorm out there right now across the Midwest. Hope you guys are enjoying this one as much as I've enjoyed breaking it down over the last few days. You guys know I'm a big winter weather fan. If you don't, well, now you do. I live here in central South Carolina. We don't hardly ever see it, but I absolutely love winter weather. But it is time to move past this storm system, focusing on the next one, which will begin in the plains here in the next couple days and eventually work its way into the Northeast later into next week. So we'll get heavy on the details of that. And then for the entirety of the rest of the video, we'll focus in on the pattern for the entire first half of December and how it will continue to support winter weather chances really for the foreseeable future. So my name is Mitch. Good Saturday evening. Hope you guys are doing well out there and have had a wonderful weekend. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. Let's get going tonight. So let's move to our next winter storm threat. We're going to take a look at the NAM, and I want to show you this first because it's a lot more aggressive when you compare it to the global model. So your time frame is up here. This says 8 a.m. Monday, so the next 36 hours or so, but back it up an hour if you're in the central time, which is this pretty much this entire area, right? So I don't know how to change that, so just back this up 1 hour, but the timestamp is up here. So let's get this in motion, and we can only go out 60 hours, so this is about half of the storm. But already, as we're waking up Monday morning, we got snow flying around across the central plains, areas of Kansas, Nebraska, even eastern Colorado, already moving into Iowa, so snow is falling on top of more snow that's on the ground from this winter storm we're getting right now. We got snow moving into northern New Jersey, a little bit of a wintry mix showing up down here in Oklahoma. We got to watch that. And as we continue to get this in motion, if we can here, and we start to move into about midday Monday, a wintry mix breaking out across areas of central, even south central Arkansas. You see the pink? That is freezing rain, maybe a little sleet mixed in with this. It's snowing in Wichita, Topeka, Kansas City getting snow, northern counties of Missouri, all of Iowa getting more snow. This isn't the system right now. This is the next one on the way. More snow moving into the same areas as getting snow right now in northern Illinois. So just rich get richer, right, for winter weather fans. There's a little bit of a gap I'm watching here. Jefferson City, Columbia, St. Louis. I want to see if this gets filled in later model runs. But Chicago getting a snowstorm. And, I want to be careful saying that. I don't know if this is going to be an all-out snowstorm. But if the NAM is right, this is like a smaller version of what you're getting right now in Chicago, Milwaukee. But as we start to move, and let's move this a little bit more to the east until about Monday night. Remember, timestamp is up here because I'm going to forget to mention it some. This is mainly rain down here in Middle Tennessee, but it continues to show a wintry mix here in Arkansas. Let's back this up a little bit. Check this out. This is Monday evening, an all-out wintry mix in northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. Okay, and we continue to move forward. We're going to take this all the way to the end of the NAM, which goes 60 hours out, so it's 1 a.m. Eastern time. Back it up an hour in central. And this is an all-out winter storm again in Indianapolis. Just up, there's more winter weather a little bit further south. Just north of Lexington, Kentucky, this is a nasty freezing rain sleet mix, and you can see some ice breaking out across the favored areas of western North Carolina, Asheville, Hendersonville. Heck, it even shows down here in northern Georgia, and Banner Elk, Boone. Watch out for these areas. Let's get this a little bit more broad and bring it up here. Indianapolis, this would be heavy snow. Bloomington, Evansville, Louisville over to Cincinnati corridor. This is going to be a tricky zone. So winter weather a little bit further south compared to what's happening right now. And this is as far out as this goes. Lansing, Detroit, Toledo, Cleveland, more snow about to move in. Columbus, snow is moving in. But this is an all-out snowstorm in Indiana. So now we got to start off where we leave off with the NAM and start off with the latest Euro. Okay? And this is midday Monday. It's not near as aggressive. Okay, the light blue, light snow. Darker blue, right here, for example, this is more so moderate snow. But this cold enough on the Euro to be a little bit of snow in northern areas of Kentucky, western Kentucky. And we continue to move this forward. It even shows some snow in northern counties of Tennessee. And some heavier snow up here in central to eastern Kentucky. You got this band of moderate snow up here in Ohio. Look at the snow in West Virginia. And then we start to move into the evening hours of Tuesday, and we're done. So not all that bad on the Euro, right? The GFS, that's the latest one, a lot more aggressive. Same thing we get into Monday afternoon, we get into Monday night, we get right in the middle of the night, Monday night into Tuesday, and it follows more so what the NAM is showing. A little bit more aggressive, right? You see more of the darker blues, more moderate snow over spreading areas. Northern areas of Kentucky, more so a wintry mix. The pink, That's freezing rain. The orange on this on the weather bell is sleet. So kind of a quick hitting moderate winter weather event. And it turns out into an all-out snowstorm in southern Ohio. This is getting into Tuesday morning. I mean, this darker blue here, that's heavy snow. So this could be heavy snow in central Kentucky, northeast Kentucky, and more of a wintry mix if the GFS is right into West Virginia compared to the Euro. And then as we're getting to Tuesday midday, this begins to head on out. Maybe some lingering northwest flow stuff in the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. Now, we look at the northeast, and we started off early morning hours of Tuesday. You see the pink? That's freezing rain in the favorite areas of Virginia, North Carolina, West Virginia, and even an all-out wintry mix as we start moving to the mid-Atlantic. And this is what's interesting to me. Starts out some snow in the D.C. area, Baltimore, Philadelphia, even a wintry mix in northern Delaware. Okay, all snow back here in West Virginia. This is a nasty icing event. We could have significant icing. Anything over a quarter inch of freezing rain is considered significant icing. But this is all snow up here. It's just how heavy is the moisture going to get into that cold air. And we continue to move forward. It's heavy snow in northern New Jersey, eastern PA, heavy snow, 1,000 millibar low pressure. Does it start out as snow in Boston? I think it does if this is right. Tuesday afternoon, this is all snow and stays all snow in Boston, it looks like, in southern New England. But it doesn't throw a lot of heavy moisture into the area. Okay, what about the GFS? Here it comes, same thing, wintry mix. Icing down here in the favored CAD regions, cold air damming regions. That's what that stands for. It's a lot more of a juiced up system. So we take it all the way out to about midday Tuesday. And that is some heavy wet snow in the Catskills and even snow getting all the way up here in upstate New York. But it's a warmer, more amped system. So New York City, Long Island, southern New Jersey, all the Tidewater, Delmarva, and, southeast Mass, Delaware, Rhode Island. This is mainly a rain event and stays rain actually in Boston, but just north you get a corridor of heavy, wet snow. But with that 994 riding right over Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, wow, swallowed my spit there, swallowed my sweat. Sorry guys. I almost didn't do the video tonight. I really didn't because I just did not. I really wasn't feeling it, but I thought, hey, we need to muscle through this. There's so much to go over, so here we are. So looks like my throat kind of rejected me there. But 994 riding over Cape Cod is what I was trying to say. And then the system really begins to amp up. The system begins to strengthen. 990 low, so the precipitation begins to intensify. And we definitely got to watch our neighbors here in Atlantic Canada, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island. It's just Atlantic Canada. Newfoundland will get heavier on you guys when we just have a little bit more detail. But that's the GFS, a little bit more amped up, right? So the latest GFS operational run. This isn't the Euro Ensemble. This is the operational run. So shows a little bit of snow. I do want to say, hey, the Front Range can get a little bit in northern New Mexico. And this is in 24-hour periods, so you're going to see a snow footprint appear and then disappear, but shows, a couple inches of snow, a signal for it across Kansas and Missouri. Okay, not a big event, but maybe Kansas City gets some accumulating snow. You kind of got ripped off in this last event, the event ongoing right now. But check this out, in Arkansas, they're going for a few 1/100ths of an inch of ice, to even over 1/10 of an inch of ice around Little Rock, point south and southwest. So that's interesting to me. They're being pretty aggressive with the freezing rain totals, and we're going to get a little bit of freezing rain with this too. So watch out in Arkansas for a little bit of freezing rain. This could actually cancel some schools as we start our week next week. And then we look at the Euro and these areas. So we're going to cover Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, etc. Right? Same thing, 24-hour periods, and you see the stripe of snow. You see stripe of snow number 1 up here off the Euro, okay? Shows a stripe of 1 to 2, maybe as much as 3 inches of snow right through the Midwest and Ohio. And then it shows another amped up area of snow down here. And this starts in central Kentucky, eastern Kentucky, even a little bit of snow down here in Tennessee, in the Boot Hill, Missouri too. And it really gets amped up and shows a signal for a few to maybe as much as several inches of snow in Kentucky. And I'm in West Virginia. So we got to watch for that. Now, what about the GFS for this? Here it comes. It's a lot more aggressive, right? Shows multiple inches of snow across Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, the Midwest, into the Ohio Valley. It really gets it going where several inches of snow begins to show up. And on the GFS, it wants to drop over 6 inches of snow right near the Allegheny Mountains and the Highlands of West Virginia. So very aggressive on the GFS with that. And also, I just want to show you what the NAM is showing. Let's do that really quick. We're going to do this on the fly. And yeah, it only goes out to that. And already shows a lot more snow up here in the Midwest. And this only goes out to the middle of the night, Monday night and Tuesday morning. So this isn't the entirety of the run, but it's a lot more aggressive with the snow up here. So what about the Northeast? Well, the latest Euro, here it comes. And drops a moderate event, definitely not a major event, but drops a few inches of wet snow, even drops 1.5 inches on DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, drops a kind of a band of 1 to 2 inches of snow, not a forecast, but drops 3 to 4 inches of snow in Boston, New York City, hardly nothing really, I would say. Northern New Jersey hits you guys, but there's just this thin band in this area. Now, some model guides is a lot more aggressive. For example, I was seeing the Euro AI model getting showed a lot. It is more aggressive, and I think it's only fair to show you this and what it's showing. Same thing, 24-hour periods. And, well, it looks like it came to its senses a little bit. It was a lot further south earlier, but it definitely wants to drop over 1/2 foot of snow in southern New England. So it's definitely more aggressive on the Euro AI model. So the GFS, what does it show? It's a lot more aggressive too. And I could buy this if this system is more amped up. There's cold air in place. It's just not worked into that I-95 corridor yet. But you can see there is just a diabolical cutoff here of snow here. You go from nothing on the GFS in Boston to like 6 to 8 inches of snow right up the road. Same thing with New York City. So got to figure that one out. I do want to show you the ice signal here. This is going to be a significant icing event, I think, for the favored foothill regions, mountainous regions on the eastern slopes of the Appalachian Mountains. And this is combining a little bit of the icing on the way over the next 48 hours from the event on the way. But yeah, I mean, be mindful of this icing situation in this area. So, all right, it's time to move past that winter storm. We're going to continue to try to figure out. It's going to be the main topic for the next few days. But we're also discussing heavily after that too. So this is running from the 5th through the 9th. This is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Just think of the blue is they're leaning towards below average temperatures in this time frame, the 5th and the 9th. And then the warmer colors is above average temperatures. So you got this area that's dipping down to areas in the mid-south. The confidence is higher where you have those darker blues. Okay, but below average temperatures, look to set up around this area. I think we're going to get a little bit of a ridge push kind of in this same time frame. So that's why, you know, it's around near normal to slightly above average for areas of the deep south. The same time frame, we stay wet across the east. Okay, this is the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Okay, near normal for the middle of the country, eastern U.S. stays wet or either wintry. And then we go from the 7th through the 13th, 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So we're getting pretty far out there. The blue is starting to extend further south again, leaning towards below average temperatures. So the same pattern that we're about to discuss continues to stay in place. And I'm very excited to see this because, and let's say this first, 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, precipitation outlook, leaning towards above average precipitation. This could be snow in certain areas or winter weather in the same time frame. I'm excited about this because I go to Gatlinburg. I go to the mountains from the 10th to the 14th of this month, which I need to keep reminding you guys of that because it's coming up and I don't know what I'm going to do about videos, but I'll figure it out. So I'm really hoping that the weather delivers something special. But let's break this pattern down and why the Climate Prediction Center is saying that. Okay? So the blues and the greens you see on your screen like this, and this is lower pressure. This over here, kind of the warmer looking colors, this is a ridge, higher pressure, brings above average temperature. So, man, just realized that I did not have my drawing tool up. So you're gonna see me do this on the fly, and you get to see everything on my computer here. And we're gonna do this on the fly and pull this up, and we're gonna draw on this a little bit. All right, and let's use black. Okay, get off the screen. And sorry for not being prepared for you guys. All right, so this is starting off Monday morning. You see this area right here? That is our anchored in pretty much cold air source. It's being anchored in because we have this big spiking ridge right here, and this is consistently dislodging cold air down here around this trough. This is like a piece of the polar vortex, you might as well say. Okay, and then you see this extension, I would say, of blue. That is our lower pressure. Okay, so this is our system on the way. So this area right here is providing a cold air source for our lower pressure extending down here. And this is kind of sweeping in and sweeping out just like that. So low pressure is actually going to kind of kind of do something like that. And cold air is going to funnel in this consistent trough up here in the higher latitudes over Canada into our storm system. All right, and this is in the shorter term. This is this coming week, this winter storm. I just want to explain what's driving that. So that swings in and out. There it goes, affecting Atlantic Canada at this point. You see this area right here in this bluish green color? This is our cold air source. It hangs out with us. Now, there is a system right here that gets kind of detached. It doesn't get picked up by this trough. And we get a little bit of a ridge, broad ridge flex right into here. And I think this does warm us up for a few days at most across the southern tier of the country. But then watch what happens with this. Okay, watch how our trough begins to amplify and dig south. Knock down that ridge as we're getting into this weekend. All right, so there's a lot going on. Well, this is next weekend. So this is all the way next Saturday, next Sunday. So all of a sudden, this trough is digging down much further and it's completely knocked down that ridge. This could be some energy about to try to go into the cold air being driven down by this dip in the jet. But this is a lot of cold air diving down. Could this be an area of energy about to sweep in? Very possible. But that blue continues to show up as our cold air source. This is a trough digging down. And then we get past next week and we get closer to the 10th. And guys, this trough continues to show up all the way through mid-month. And this is one of the best things you can look at in the long range in the world. It's the Euro ensemble, and you get just this consistent looking trough, Aryan blue, that shows up in the eastern U.S. So this can, to kind of wrap all that up, this continues to be a cold air feed. Okay, and we can continue to have areas of energy that rise at the base of this trough. And if we can get, so cold air is coming down, if we can get some southern stream energy to interact with some northern stream energy digging down, we could get something here. Okay? A better way to look at this, and what's wild is this keeps showing up. We're all the way out into the 12th, 13th of December. This is energy in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. This is our storm system for this week, right? Cold air source right here in this orange. I'm sorry, I'm getting my wife laughs at me all the time because she says I literally just make up words that for things that I'm trying to say, and I end up saying a word that I'm not trying to say. But this is kind of our trough right here, continually feeding in northern stream. But is southern stream going to cooperate? It does on the system this coming week. And there it is right there. There's our southern stream. And then we have a piece of energy that drops down to the southwest. It kind of gets cut off. But our trough continues to spin around up here, right? Is there any other southern stream energy? There is. Now we're starting, and this gets more fuzzy. We're about a week out. We start to see an attachment of energy here. Okay, a little bit more of an attachment. Well, where's the cold air? Okay, and we continue, and everything gets much fuzzier when we get further out. But what you're seeing here is there's a lot of connection of energy from up here and down here with a trough really diving down. Connection of energy. Okay, so that's it's got my attention. It's got my attention for increased winter weather chances, just like I said at the beginning of the video. But of course, cold air, all that fancy stuff that I just showed you, right? Is that actually reflecting to the surface as colder than average temperatures? Absolutely. You know, we started off midweek. We got colder than average temperatures in the blue and the green colors. Ignore everything else because we're focusing in on cold. And then we get a big Arctic surge that moves in later this week. But it looks to be more so anchored for the northern sections of the country in the Northeast. Looks like we get a little bit of some warmer average temperatures that flex across the deep south. And then here comes that diving down trough that freezes us up again across the central to eastern U.S. And it stays with us for the life. I mean, the life of the entire 15-day ensemble run. Below average temperatures stick with us. So the big question is, and a lot of people probably want to know, well, is there anything showing up as far as these operational runs? On the Euro, it did last night, and it might overnight tonight again. On the Euro, it does show a system with our trough anchored up here and a little bit of southern stream energy detaching maybe from the southwest that I kind of showed you earlier, just a couple minutes ago. So we could have some energy here, but there's not a deep cold air source. On the Euro, there's not. On the euro, there's not. I kind of said that again for a reason. And then we go to another time frame that I'm really watching. I think there could be more interaction between northern and southern stream energy with a cold air source diving down. And here's an amped up Gulf low, but it's kind of a miss with the cold air. And then we go past that, who knows? GFS says, hey, we're going to have a winter storm in areas of the southeast and mid-Atlantic in under a week. I mean, look at this. Shows a big winter storm, has a strong cold high pressure right here, and it has a stronger cold air source from the northeast. Okay? Compared to, say, the Euro. And it shows a cold air damming storm across the Carolinas. Does it show anything after that? It shows a beefed up low pressure after that. Shows a big cold air dive after that also. And after that, who knows? It's a whole lot after that, that's right. Here's a closer look at that cold air damming storm here. Starts off with snow. I mean, this is this coming Friday, December the 5th. So I think there's just a lot of crazy stuff that's going to continue to show up. And this is all in response to what we're seeing with the MJO. And I'm not going to dive super deep into this again. I say that and I probably will. But one thing we're seeing, guys, is right now we are in our favorable MJO phases that we want to work into if we're cold weather fans is 8, 1, and 2. Okay? Warm phases is 6, 5, and 4. 7 and 3 are transitional MJO phases. Okay? So we need to get to 8, 1, and 2 if we want some cold weather and some winter weather chances, especially for the central to eastern U.S. The Euro extended shows us getting to phase 8 by December 3rd. We're in phase 7 right now. And then kind of hanging around in it for the life of the entire chart here. And if you go back and you look at all the other charts too here, I mean, the actual Euro shows this too, getting to phase 8 here in a few days, next week. And then even the GEFS shows us getting to phase 8 in a couple days too. So, guys, everything points to a very favorable pattern going forward for winter weather. So, that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll do it again tomorrow morning. God bless all y'all and have a wonderful rest of your evening.